Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
Chiefs win. Cry, Eagles, cry.
Great, excited to be back in the league.
You know, every day I got the Three Stooges in the studio with me is a good fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So let's make sure he gets that bag.
F-R-A-U-D-S, fries! Woo!
Justin's way ahead in picks. That's all that you need to fucking know.
Show's over.
Show's over. We're going home.
I would like to welcome you back to another page of the Playbook Sports Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to 32 NFL off-seasons in 32 days. Just yesterday, we talked about the New Orleans Saints. Today, let's talk about one of the teams up there in the Big Apple. Today, let's talk about the New York Football Giants. Giants fans, how are we feeling right now? Because I look back at last season, and what a strange team and what a strange season, honestly. Starting out 6-1, super impressive start. But I just look back at your schedule to start the year. I guess I just didn't pay enough attention. But that schedule in the beginning was an absolute cakewalk. Holy cow. Talk about set up for a fast start. That must be nice. But at the end of the day, you got to beat who you got to beat. And they definitely took steps forward as a team. And on top of all that, they had the coach of the year in rookie head coach Brian Daboll. Well, I can't say this with 100% certainty because it's kind of hard to find the answer without taking a ton of time to dig, which I'll be honest, I'm just not going to do that. I mean, is that the first time a rookie head coach has ever won the award? It very well could be. I don't know. Get down in the comments below. Let me know because I'm really curious. Either way, super impressive for him to win that as a first-year head coach. Unfortunately for the Giants, once they got to the playoffs, the Eagles showed just how much of a gap that there really is between the two teams when they faced off in the divisional round, as the Eagles beat them 38-7. Ouch. Tough loss. Have the Giants done enough this offseason to close that gap? Let's talk about it. Key additions / moves. I'm calling it additions moves because they really didn't do a ton of adding to this team. I do like the addition of Bobby Okereke. I don't know, I've heard it pronounced both ways, but I really like that addition. He's young, super talented linebacker. He'll definitely be a leader on the defensive side of the ball. And while this move wasn't a free agent deal, they did add Darren Waller, tight end from Las Vegas. And no, this past year wasn't his best. He was hurt. They were going through quarterback changes. They were trying to run a Josh McDaniel offense, which is not good anyways. A fresh start in New York might just help him reinvigorate his career and kind of a career revival. Daniel Jones needs people to throw the ball to. So I like that move a lot too. So they won't have a ton of new faces this upcoming season because what they did do was sort out their quarterback position for the next several seasons by giving quarterback Daniel Jones a big ol' extension, signing him to a 4-year, $160 million contract with $82 million guaranteed. Woo, that is a lot of money, you guys. I will say technically it could be shortened to just be a 2-year, $82 million deal if they let him go after 2 seasons. That's when all the guaranteed money is up. But that is a lot of money, for a total of 15 passing touchdowns last year. His stats just do not jump off the page at you. They just don't. I will say where he did improve this season, he really improved his completion percentage. I want to say it was low 60s. He was 67% this year, which you like to see. But still just not a ton of firepower in that passing game. Is it him or is it the weapons? I don't know. But where he really improved was in his running game. Good old Vanilla Vic ran for 700 yards and 7 touchdowns, which is just not something you would expect when you look at him. No offense, Daniel Jones, you just don't look like a runner. I want to say he had very similar rushing yards to Jalen Hurts, who is widely considered one of the best rushing quarterbacks. Daniel Jones put up really solid rushing numbers, and you don't like to see him taking a bunch of hits, but you got to admit he really improved. I'm curious, Giants fans watching this, what are your guys' thoughts on that extension? Do you like it? I'm kind of in between. Like, you had to pay him; it was about that time. You got to look at the contract, the markets. It's tough. I'm right in the middle on it. They also franchise tag Saquon Barkley, which is a move I really like. Coming off of a really good year, they parlayed that into another season of him without having to commit to him long term. Sadly for running backs, this is just how things are for them because their shelf lives in the NFL are so short. You look around the NFL and teams paying running backs big contracts do not typically succeed because that's a lot of cap to put into a position that typically can be replaced with a third or fourth round rookie. But good for Saquon Barkley. He'll get real good money this year, and if he's amazing next year, maybe he gets a big contract. Either way, I think that it's smart business. Key losses. This is a short section. They didn't really lose a whole lot. As far as losses go, Julian Love was a solid young safety for them. He's not even 25 years old yet. You do hate to see him walk, especially for such a cheap contract. I think he got 2 years, a total of $12 million. Would have liked the Giants to keep him back there. He's young. He's been there for several seasons. Would have been nice to keep him. But outside of him, not a whole lot to speak about. Let's talk about the NFL draft. In the first 3 rounds of this draft, the Giants made 3 excellent draft picks. I went into this when I started doing my research on the Giants. I kind of forgot that I love their draft class. I mean, in my opinion, they got 3 guys that they could have taken with their first round pick, and everybody would have thought that it was a solid pick. I like Deonte Banks at pick number 24. I had him in my second tier of corners with Joey Porter Jr. and Cam Smith. Those were the next guys below Devin Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez. Sorry, name blanked on it for a second there. So getting him at 24, especially in a position that they really need, I like that. 6'2", super athletic, ran a 4.3 540 at the combine. And at the combine, these corners were really struggling to show their athleticism. Not Deonte Banks. He showed his athleticism at the combine. I really like that pick. And then in round 2, they got the best center in the class, in my opinion, in John Michael Schmitz out of Minnesota. Best run blocking center out of college last year. Best graded center out of college last year. He will be a day one starter, and he's like I said, he excels in run blocking, and that seems to be what the Giants want to do going forward. So love that pick. And then in round 3, they got the wide receiver that I thought they would take with their first round pick. How Jalen Hyatt lasted until the 3rd round, I will never know. He's an absolute burner with breakaway speed, coming off of a Biletnikoff award-winning season. I think he'll be the number 1 wide receiver in this offense pretty much from day one. I think they're going to absolutely love him. 15 touchdowns last year for Tennessee. He was fantastic for them. Guys, I'm finding it really hard to not give this draft class an A+, especially just from those 3 picks right there. They got 3 potentially first-round talent players, in my opinion. And the more I try and talk myself out of an A+, the more I realize how silly that is. I bite the bullet and I write down the grade. They get an A+ for their draft. So impressed with that class. Mainly, it's very, very top-heavy, sure, but their first 3 picks all could have been first-round picks, and no one would have even second-guessed it if they took Hyatt or Michael Schmitz in the first round and been like, oh, that's a solid pick. They got him in the 2nd and 3rd round. That's super impressive. Well done, Joe Shane. Overall, this offseason, it seems like the Giants think that they have all these key pieces and they just need another year in Daboll's system to really get the most out of what they have. Yes, their draft was excellent, but their free agency class leaves a little to be desired, especially when you take into consideration the fact that they still have not gotten Daniel Jones a bona fide, proven stud at wide receiver. Yeah, they brought in Darren Waller, who's coming off of a down year. Yes, they brought in Jalen Hyatt, who could be great, absolutely could be, but he's not proven in the league yet. He's a rookie wide receiver. I like their additions, but man, if you throw in a DeAndre Hopkins this offseason, who knows? He's a free agent. Maybe I should give him a call. That'd be a home run. But as it stands right now, I'm still giving them a solid A for their offseason grade. And then quickly, let's touch on what kind of a team I think they will be this year. I like their offseason, but this is still a team that I don't believe will compete for their division this year. And I think you can just go ahead and lock in the New York Football Giants 3rd place in the NFC East. That's not a knock on them. The Eagles and Cowboys just have 2 of the 5 best rosters in the NFL, in my opinion. And the Eagles really showed that golf in class in the playoffs last year. And the Giants are bringing back more or less the same team with a couple of tweaks here and there. I still like the Giants to make the playoffs. And maybe even steal a win from one of the weaker division winners that they would face. But I think that is where the Giants' ceiling is currently. Get in the playoffs with 10 wins, and then maybe steal a road game against whoever wins the NFC North. But outside of that, I don't see them going very far. I don't know. Let me know, guys. Giants fans, talk to me. What do you think about this? What do you think about that contract extension? Curious to hear your guys' thoughts on that. But that's all I've got for you guys today on the New York Football Giants offseason. We will see you all back here tomorrow for day number 25.